This is Chris with Protect Your Children Incorporated. This is very disturbing. We're going to look at some video that was captured by Project Veritas. This comes off of their YouTube channel. I don't own any rights to this. And this is a discussion that one of their undercover journalists had with the director of the Writing Center for a middle school English and 7th grade dean. So we're talking about, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids here. And he is employed by this school. What you're about to hear is very disturbing, and it's very shocking, and it's going to be loud and clear that there needs to be better standards for identifying these predators before they become teachers. Let's take a listen.
Every day there's different panties, green, black, white. We make sure that the panty is positioned in a way that I actually see the thing. That's just brutal.
Imagine if...
Okay, hold on. He says it's just brutal because the girls, he says, position their legs in such a way where he can see their panties, and it's brutal for him. There's your first flag right there. If this guy is being tempted by 11, 12, 13-year-old girls, there's the problem right there. First flag, ding, 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 hello. It's brutal, he says. It's so hard for him to have to be able to look at that. First flag. Let's keep going.
If you will, you are spending nearly $50,000 a year to give your children a top-of-the-line education at Greens Farms Academy in Westport, Connecticut. This elite school states its goal as, quote, provide students with a sense of connection, a foundation of trust and respect. However, in our ongoing Project Veritas investigation into education, rather than uncovering issues of secret curriculums like the one we exposed in Cobb, Connecticut, now we are stunned to learn of a teacher's twisted sexual statements at this private school in Connecticut, apparently about his own students.
You've not been tempted? Yes.
Okay, flag number 2. He's actually tempted by these young girls. This guy, at least we'll say his thinking, is pedophilia. That's it. This guy's being tempted by middle school girls. That means that most likely, if given the opportunity, he would act on it if he could. How in the world did this guy become director of the Writing Center for a middle school English? And how did he become 7th grade dean? Was there any warning signs before this? Did nobody pick up on this kind of behavior? Maybe there's girls that are uncomfortable who haven't come forward? Something?
Every day.
He's tempted every day.
It's hard.
It's fair. I mean, literally and figuratively.
You can solve that.
I'm sure they can, but that possibly means me losing my job, my reputation. It's risky. It's way too risky.
Yeah, and going to jail, pal. It's interesting how he doesn't say that. Now, the undercover journalist says that, hey, the students can solve this temptation. And he says, I'm sure they can, but that possibly means me losing my job, my reputation. It's risky. It's way too risky. Yeah, how about going to jail, pal? That would be, the first thing that would happen. Pervert.
That's Iman Rosti. Born and raised in Iran, he is a middle school English teacher at Greens Farms Academy, as well as the 7th grade dean and the director of the private school's Writing Center. He met up with our journalist, and instead of discussing curriculum at the school, he chose to describe his adolescent female students in a graphic, sexual manner for nearly 2 hours.
One thing they do these days, they sit down in front of me. They purposefully sit somewhere in a class that is completely directly in front of me, and they spread their legs wide open. And that's just brutal. school.
Okay, all right. Now hold on a second. He claims that these girls are purposely sitting in front of him and they're spreading their legs like they want him to see them. Okay, 2 points here. I've never seen the English class. I don't know how it's set up, but I'm assuming if it's like any other school, the teacher's in front of the students. So I'm guessing that anybody who's sitting is going to be facing him. So this might just be his fantasy in his head here. But you will see that he goes on to talk about this 2 or 3 specific girls. The second point is we're not saying that they would do this on purpose, but unfortunately, there are young girls today that are dressing very provocatively. They're dressing in a way that's going to grab people's attention, and they like that attention. Now, I'm not saying that these girls are doing that, but this goes to show you how dangerous that is. If a girl is wearing, especially in middle school, wearing a skirt, they need to have something underneath that. I mean, you have to be careful these days because there are a lot of perverts running around, and these girls don't want to unknowingly tempt somebody, excuse me, into attacking them or trying to do something with them.
Every day there's different panties. Green, black, white. And they make sure. And it's like they talk to each other. So the 3 of them do that.
The 3 of them?
2, 3, depending on the group, because they are not shy about sharing their, I'm guessing,
Sharing their what?
their how they feel or what they're up to. Because girls do it also solo or together. They're not. Basically, I open their legs wide open, and I'm teaching, and I see what I see. They make sure that panties are like positioned in a way that I actually see the thing.
So you saw the underwear. What else did you see?
I can see the side. So I control my teaching. So I do the best I can. Because if I do 3 people are talking there, 2 people there, it's not going to work. They have to give me all their attention. So I'm talking and I look down and I see that.
You see what?
And I see someone sitting like this.
Like what?
Like this.
I can't see. You have to explain.
They're sitting like this. Short skirt. And the green panties are kind of inserted in. How do you see that?
All right, this guy has clearly spent way too much time looking and being tempted and tempting himself than he has teaching. If he can describe this that well, we know what this guy's attention is. We know what he's looking at. And this is very, very dangerous. In fact, this guy needs to be investigated criminally for any potential acts that may have been illegal. It's unbelievable.
See what? Again?
You see that picture of the image, it was not image, the actual. You say, what should I say?
It's your picture that you framed from me.
Oh, that's fine. So how can you concentrate? How can you continue talking what you're talking when you see that?
Okay, he says that that's hot. And how can he concentrate? How can he continue talking with your classroom when you see that? Well, here's the problem, pal. First of all, you shouldn't be tempted by it. You should be disgusted by it. You should be overly concerned about it. And there's something that should be done if these girls are actually doing this on purpose, spreading their legs, and they're trying to tempt him, which he thinks they are. No guarantee that that's what's happening. Then he needs to go to the right people and have them talk to these girls privately about being more careful about what they're revealing and who might be able to see it. You don't sit there and, oh, this is so hard for me. Oh, how do I do it? How do I handle it? How do I continue to teach while this is right in front of me? I mean, come on, think it through.
I don't know, for women, if you see, I don't know, I guess for women it's sexy too. You see a man with a heart and maybe it's sexy, I don't know.
All right, now he's admitting that he's getting off on this. This is the second reference that he's made about a particular issue. You can read it on the screen. This guy, how long has he been teaching? And has he acted on anything? That's the main question. Even if he hasn't, this guy does not belong around kids at all. Period.
If you find that person sexy, probably it's sexy. I don't know if it's sexy for a man to see a woman or a woman to see a man. I don't know that. But what I know is that it's hard to continue talking as if nothing has happened in your mind, in your brain. And they smile and they smirk at you. And they close and open, close and open a couple times. They're not. Like when girls start having sex, it's interesting for someone like me who has been in and out of relationships and all my life and married and all that. You see changes in face and appearance, you probably too. So you see a 15-year-old girl and then next year they come back to school and she's a woman.
No, actually, when she comes back to school next year, she's 16. Yeah, 15, and then she turns 16. Not 18, pal. So I don't know what you're seeing, but she's not a woman yet.
She's a woman. There's no way she has gained weight just doing nothing. It's clear that she has had sex. A lot of sex. Part of the reason why those girls give me attention, in addition to me being genuine with them and honest with them, I think is maybe they get that vibe that.
All right, let me pause this for a second. Maybe they get that vibe. He's talking about a sexual connection vibe, is what he's talking about. So in his mind, these girls are doing this on purpose. They're getting excited about it. They're getting off on it. They're tempting him. They know they're tempting him, and they're enjoying it, and they're talking to their friends about it. And this is what he thinks. I really hope this is just a sick fantasy of his. But there are, if you look at TikTok today and you look at some of these videos, there are a lot of young girls that are flaunting their stuff, revealing their bodies to strangers because they want a like or they want a heart on their video, right? And so there are, unfortunately, a lot of this younger generation has been desensitized and hypersexualized where they will try to get attention from people by flaunting their bodies, and that's very dangerous. And parents, if you have a child that's got TikTok, look, 9 out of 10 videos on TikTok are sexual. It's all popping the hips. It's all these sexy dances. And if you have a child that's posting this stuff online, they're trying to get attention by using their body, and that's a huge, huge red flag that needs to be looked at.
Sexual attention, I feel like they get it. They don't say anything. Look at them.
Now, after our journalist met up with Rusty, we weren't sure if his statements were true or just a fantasy conjured up in his mind. But in a second meeting, he doubled down on his statements.
Okay, and then what happened that's real?
What happened? What?
What happened that was real?
Everything else I told you.
So,
Sitting in front of me in a chair and spreading legs so I can see. Yeah. I'm sure that when they bend over
making sure that when you okay, but
and they ride.
yeah, when they ride, they can see their
A nice, big, beautiful, firm.
Wow, this guy's got serious problems. Look how he's describing these young girls. These are, remember, middle school, right? 11, 12, 7th grade, maybe 13. And he's describing them like this. They're big, beautiful, firm lips. This guy is clearly twisted.
Yeah,
I
you're
want to
not.
make sure I see them,
Yeah. So everything that you told me about them was fantasy?
except for that I see, the side of the pictures, the ass that I see, the bending down, and no, I have not.
Despite Rasti's claims that he hasn't done anything with his young students, he said he is willing to make exceptions on his, quote, principle to not F his students.
I get the vibe. It's obvious, but I refuse because I don't want my students.
That you don't come?
That's my principle.
That's your what?
Principle. I don't do that. But sometimes I make exceptions.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay, right there. It sounds like he just admitted. Tell me if I'm wrong. Comment below on this. It sounds like he just admitted. He says he doesn't F his students. That's his principle. He just doesn't do that. But sometimes I make exceptions, he says. Which sounds like to me that he has fooled around with these kids. He needs to be criminally investigated, like now.
It's important to note that Rasti, who was a college professor when he was younger, admitted to our journalist about having numerous sexual affairs with his students at the time.
Not with my K-12, but college. I had sex with many of my students.
In light of his alarming sexual statements regarding current adolescent students, we reached out to Tom McAndrew, retired 25-year veteran of the Pennsylvania State Police. McAndrew led major criminal investigations and performed personality profiles of offenders. We had McAndrew review our interview for his assessment of Rasti's comments.
The concern with this particular individual is that he sort of has blurred the lines between fantasy and reality. He certainly is in a position of power and authority, and he should recognize that role. When I was in the Pennsylvania State Police, the unit I was in, we would often look at threat assessments and elevation of somebody's behavior. And certainly this individual would strike me as somebody, if he has not already acted out, meaning, victimized children, he certainly has thought about it. When they start to justify that behavior in their mind, which he seems to do throughout that conversation, it becomes very concerning. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
This is a great point that this retired state police officer makes. This teacher is trying to justify the way he's thinking by saying, hey, they're wanting it. They're tempting me. They're trying to come on to me. So it's okay that I think this way. That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to justify his thinking, which then he can later justify his behavior. Now, he says he has not done anything with K through 12. We should certainly hope not. But the way he's thinking about these kids, the way he's looking at them, the way he describes them, that is one step away from acting. Just one step away.
I wouldn't want this individual around my teenage child when this is where his thought process is. And he seems to almost have an obsession with it. As frequently as he talked about it, shows that it's constantly on his mind. The Sandusky scandal at Penn State, the years of concern, people were raising the red flag and it got ignored.
See, this is a great point. With Sandusky, that was going on for years and years and years, and people had tried to raise warnings about it, said, hey, this doesn't seem right, what's going on here? And nobody took it seriously. Sandusky was allowed to get away with stuff for way too long. Even when somebody reportedly had seen him in the shower with a young boy, didn't report it. You get to that point and you're complicit in an evil act, in an illegal act. And this is why it's important to visit our website, protectyourchildren.org, and download the in-depth protection packet. The in-depth protection packet has all the warning signs, behavior changes, profiles of predators, all the things that parents and kids can identify ahead of time that somebody might be dangerous. and then they have to do something about it. You can't just ignore it. And anybody in this school system where this teacher works, if anybody else has heard him talk like this and they haven't reported it, then they're just as guilty.
All these scandals, if they haven't proved something about human nature, we should be more in tune to what's going on.
We are placing the employee on leave and will be promptly investigating this matter and taking appropriate action.
To be clear, Iman Rosti has not admitted to acting on any of his sexual feelings towards underage girls in his classroom or anywhere else. However, his relentless discussion about them in a sexual manner is worth reporting. If you or a student you know has been the subject of predatory behavior at our trusted educational institutions, send us a tip at veritastips@protonmail.com or give us a call at our signal line. Be brave, do something.
Absolutely. Be brave and do something. Now, we understand that there's a lot of people that don't like Project Veritas. I'm going to lay something out right here. We're a not-for-profit organization. This is not about political on either side of the aisle in any way, shape, or form. We are bringing you this video and commentary on this video because this is about protecting children. Project Veritas does a great job in undercover reporting, finding this stuff out that we would never have known otherwise. That's why we're bringing it to you. This has nothing to do with right or left, Republican, Democrat. It's nothing to do with politics. This has to do with protecting children from predator teachers that are clearly out there. 229 have already been arrested this year. That's shocking. But we thank you for watching this video. This is unbelievable. Talk with your kids about their teachers, coaches, other adults that they're around. Find out if there's been any kind of sexual joking, right? Any kind of flirting, anything that kind of seems quote unquote weird to the child. Dig into that a little bit, because these could all be red flags. Definitely red flags. Visit our website, protectyourchildren.org, protectyourchildren.org. Tons of great free resources on there. The in-depth protection package is available in English and Spanish. We've got a lot of great protection videos on different topics. We've got podcasts, teaching podcasts on different topics. There's a whole series of videos, animated series for kids called Talking with Topher, about a 9-year-old who navigates through life, avoiding predators and how he's done that. There's a lot of great material there, so check it out, protectyourchildren.org. Please share this video, like, subscribe, depends on what platform you're on, retweet. Get this out there. Parents need to know that this is taking place. And we thank you again for taking the time to watch this. Again, the website's protectyourchildren.org. You can check it, everything out there, and also find out how you can help us protect kids by visiting protectyourchildren.org. Help the cause. You can see the different ways that you can help us protect kids from predators online and in the community. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and keep protected.